Alright, hello everybody. Today, this morning, we're going to do a rather quick update. We're going to take a look at the tropics, the hurricane activity, and then we are going to take a look at the winter hint number 37. I think I got that one right. Hopefully. We'll see. It doesn't matter because you're here for the winter hint, as I said before, not for the number. You don't care. I don't care. We're here to hear about the winter and what that will have in store for us, because I believe it's going to be a cold and snowy winter. But let's switch gears a little bit, taking a look at the tropical Atlantic. We have this disturbance here. It is an African wave. It looks like came off of Africa, hence is why it's called an African wave. And okay, so again, a tropical wave located to the south. Blah blah blah. Basically, it's gonna have a low percent chance of developing, and by the looks of the direction it's taking, it looks to be off to sea and not affect land at all. Of course, that can change. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. Things can always change in the weather, like minute by minute, so you always want to keep your eyes on something, even like that. So here's another disturbance with a low chance of developing. Here we have Tropical Storm Raymond. This looks interesting because it might make landfall by the looks of it, and it does. Let's read this. This could be a concern, but it's not looking to be a hurricane. That's good news. Only landfalling as a depression on the Baja of California and Mexico. So let's read this. Tropical storm conditions are expected for Las Islas Marias for the next few hours in Baja California Sur. Beginning later this morning, heavy rainfall is associated with Raymond and will impact coastal sections of southwestern and northwestern Mexico through Sunday, which could result in flash flooding, particularly in areas of higher terrain. Moisture from Raymond will bring the threat of additional heavy rains to portions of the southwest United States Sunday into early next week. So again, this is going to affect the USA as well with some heavy rains. So why not? Let's look at our severe weather outlook, our storm prediction center outlook of SPC. I'm going to take a look at that, and there's nothing, because again, it's not a surprise. It's October. The air is more stable. You get that zonal flow where you don't have as much clashing between the north and the south air masses, the Canadian air mass and the maritime southern tropical air mass in the Gulf. So again, more of a zonal flow, a stable pattern that typically does not promote severe weather. But that comes a different story in winter, where we have that collision again, but this time in winter the air is a lot colder, so you get your severe winter storms, which is my specialty and my thing. So let's kind of take a look at that, and we're kind of throwing up a Hail Mary miracle here that this might come out, because it wasn't out this morning an hour ago. So let's take a look at this. Nope, not out yet. We're not going to review it because we've redundantly reviewed that too many times now. So we're going to take a look though at Weatherbell, at their models for winter, and I'm going to take a look at that because they do have a model that updates daily. They're a seasonal model for the winter. That's called the CFS V2 model. We're going to take a look at our surface monthly temperature anomalies, which is interesting because it's still pinpointing cold, so it's catching on to something that's real and that's tangible. It's not just like wish casting, I should say. So anyways, here's October. November is warm. December, see that cold, still catching on to that cold lingering in southern Canada in December. January is the jackpot month off this run, and again, it's catching something. So it's not, it's definitely picking up on something here on the radar. Here's January, very cold. And why do I say it's picking up on something? Because redundantly spoken again, throughout the past 3 months, the models, the ensemble model, which I refer to not the technical term of the ensemble of a model, which is basically all the runs of a different model, but I'm talking about the ensemble of every single computer model out there, including the Jamstack, including the Canadian, including the European, CFS v2. They're all trending colder and at a steady rate. So they're not just going woo woo, they're kind of slowly declining colder each run. So that's good news for those who love the cold and snow like I do. So that's one reason why this is significant. And the other reason is, like I said in my previous updates, most of the cold and snow this winter I think is going to be confined to the north, because we will be in a La Nina, and that does affect our weather significantly in terms of the climatic impact and influence of it, because it is a climatic factor, because it's not like your day-to-day weather. It's when you get a La Nina, you tend to get, well, you do get cold in the ocean, in the equatorial Pacific waters, I should say, of the ocean, for a prolonged period of time. So it's like for 3 months. So that's like more of a climatic factor than a day-to-day factor that meteorology is concerned with. It's more of a climatic factor. So anyways, here's our January run, very cold. Let's take a look at the golden standard here, which will be our precip, because if we can get precip where the cold lines up, that spells snow. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so it does have a little bit of dry here where the cold is. Not too concerned because it's still far away. This is just a run that's several months away from the heart of winter. Let's take a look at our temps again, just so we can get a better picture of the alignment. So again, here's the core of the cold. You have to get and notice that just because the core of the cold is centered in a certain area where the green is, like places like Chicago and Indiana and Cincinnati, it's not necessarily per se where you will automatically get the snow lined up, because we have cold here in the north, in the west too, and in the northeast, I would say in the Gulf, but we're not looking too much at the Gulf for this, because yes, the Gulf can get snows, but primarily our seasonal snows, climatologically speaking, are for the northern plains and for the northern states, let's say, not just the northern plains. So here's our monthly temperature anomalies. And again, keep your eyes glued on this, because I'm going to now immediately switch to the precipitation. So keep your eyes fixed and focused and fixated on those temperatures. And here is our precip. So again, if you want to go off a dogmatic approach to this, just black and white thinking, based off of the precip and the temps, if you combine those, it looks like the Midwest would be getting a lot of snow this year. Also, places like Montana, Nebraska, South Dakota, these areas where the green is. You see the green in the middle part of the country, because that's where we have also the cold temperatures. Just to prove I'm not lying again, let's take a look at our monthly temperatures. So we do have some cold there in those areas. Again, when you're forecasting, you don't want to go with the extreme has to match another extreme. In this case, the coldest temperatures have to be where the most snow sets up. That's not how it works in weather. It's usually a balanced equilibrium, as weather itself is in a state of constantly trying to maintain a balanced equilibrium, and that's how you get your weather. It's constantly changing. The pressure gradients to lower gradients to higher gradients. Anyways, that's a little bit of Weather 101 for you. Hope you enjoyed this update. This is my winter hint number. I forgot what I said, so I'm just going to say 30. It doesn't matter. You're here for the weather and not for the hint. Maybe I'll make that my future slogan. But in the meantime, enjoy your day, guys. Hope you enjoyed this update. If you liked my video and are interested in long-range weather forecasting and things like that, I specialize in long-range weather on this channel, especially when it comes to winter. I enjoy it more, but if you enjoy it too, make sure you share my video and subscribe to my channel for much more long-range weather content. Thank you guys, take care, and have a great day. Bye-bye.